Good morning, folks. It's 7:55 a.m. on a 7-month 5th day, 2025. And looking here, some horrendous chem. This is to the east of Perth, Western Australia. Over these green forests that I imagine are being quite defoliated by the acid phthalates and other chemicals that are in this mix that I'm looking at here. Which we all deserve an honest answer to, I have to say, of what's in our sky being deployed by people. Right? We deserve to know, what is this? Why is this color different from that color? Are they two different items? Because they absorb different wavelengths of light, right? This is how chemistry works. Photonics, physics, plasma physics. So where do you want to go with this one? All I know is I see a big tongue of EMF. You're licking up the Flinders Range over here. I'm going to double check if I'm running. I've been having a big time getting things going today. Good. Okay, so that's where some of the action is going to occur. So let's go over some of where the weather is going to be the most severe over the next 24 hours or 36 hours or so. And I do have a concern for Canberra and New South Wales, as this system that's coming in across the bight, it has got a lot of energy in it. You know, a lot of electrical potential to be released to ground, mixing a lot of dynamics of air from the desert and from Antarctica and from what's coming from the tropics over near Fiji and all that. It's all been directed right over the top of you. And so those areas that were cold the last few days are about to get very, very volatile when they get heated up with the plasma of these microwaves. Look at that kiss cack. Yeah, you were in the sights. So I got to say, the surf that's going on right now along this coastline from Newcastle South is definitely for professionals only. Oof. Yeah, some bad thunderstorms coming through tomorrow. So let's roll through this part of things, and I want to go through some of the chem deployments. And yeah, I'll get you on the screen here, New Zealand, because you got another batch coming. So let's go to the rain and the thunders and all that rumbles, and I'm going to show you the chem. And I'm going to show you a little answer a question I was asked about the JORN devices. I attempted to open a map up the other day, and it just froze. So I have that already loaded, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And how, while your defense systems are not busy shooting out radar beams to kill missiles coming in, you know, your early Iron Dome, so to speak, that they're busy modifying the weather by changing atmospheric dynamics through EMF perturbances, frequency, resonance. Yes. And Perth, your action's coming through. Looks like over the Sunday evening hours at dinner time. Batten down the hatches. The wind's gonna be coming through fair fast on that. And if it's coming at high tide, watch out for some coastal action there. And that water is going to go right inland, and this next batch that comes in is going to really give a belt of rain. Well needed in some of these lakes, actually, near Kalgoorlie and stuff. So you get ready for some wet. So if you have some trips to do to towns and stuff to get your supplies, you might want to think about doing that now. Now is a good time. You'll have about a 24-hour window out there, Kalgoorlie. Before, I would recommend non-travel. Right, so watch for it. You got some time. Mountains of New South Wales, and this is my biggest concern for your worst weather in here, and possibly tornadic conditions to be. I'd actually expect it. Yeah, doesn't mean you get a funnel cloud. You ever hear of thunder snow? Yeah, never heard of that when I was a little kid, but then we had it by the time I was a little older. Yeah, they've been doing weather modification a very, very long time. Very, very long time. So that's my biggest concern is for you guys over, is coming tomorrow. See, this the overnight hours. What this is like after lunch. This is just before lunch when these storms come through just south of Orange. And this is a pretty accurate corridor, because what the EMF spelled out the other day is now unfolding. Bzz, bzz. Yeah, Grenfell, looks like you're going to have a big downpour. What creek does this run into? Oh yeah, this is a key junction right here. It needs smartening up. Needs some new cameras down here. Bzz, bzz, frying it at every traffic light. You ought to see the readings I get at these dumped down traffic places where they have like 18 emitters and stuff on them to checking back into the box in the corner. You guys are having terrible, terrible amount of radiation exposure from these new things, and that needs to be investigated properly. Only you can decide what you give a fuck enough to do something about, right? It's going to be a long setup of the same type weather. The high pressure's locked all the way through South America. Look, even from Africa's got this one band here along the northern equatorial boundary. You got the Tropic of Cancer. Warp speed, Cancer, tropics. You know where that came from? Came from the mouth of a guy over here saying, trust me for safer. Let's warp speed it. Let's not test it, you numbnuts. Anyways, I digress. Big head totals coming for North Carolina over the next couple of weeks, but I'm not going to go into that. But this bears being known about, okay? So Melbourne, hi. You ready? Yeah, coming Tuesday. Adelaide, yours is overnight hours on Monday. And it's going to get windy. It's going to get rough. And, well, the geoengineering has definitely set it all up. And my God, the amount of chem you guys had. And the totals ain't going to be super duper, but you're going to have some nice new snows for the ski resorts. Makes me wonder who paid for this storm. A little bit less when I think of it that way. Accumulations-wise, is really Crow saying, Rob, tell them the truth. Always. It ain't huge. You're just going to have some pockets with about 6 and 7 centimeters in it. But in general, about 2 centimeters is what I'm expecting. Coastal area is a bit higher because of the wind blowing some stuff from out to sea. Yeah, not good at all. Southern rattly. Going to be wet. Going to get moist. Yeah, very, very moist. But all in all, it's nothing really huge. It's something you can contend with. The geostorms are common, but it's hard to, deal with what's in the wind. So I'm going to turn this part off now, because this uses a lot of bandwidth. And I'm going to show you the Chem now. These are the streamings over the fucking North Queensland. I mean, far North Queensland. You left too much up for interpretation. Since the powers that be said fuck a couple times this year, I'm allowed to. The King of England said it. The King's English. And then Don, he said fuck. Because, well, he don't know what the fuck he's doing. He ought to be able to spot it in others. Or is he doing exactly as he's told? Diddy's getting off on his watch. Epstein didn't hang himself on that guy's watch. You better be watching that guy. Look at these streamers of death over the top of Queensland. My God, that's going in the sugar cane, man. You're going to be eating these chemtrails. Have a nice big bowl of chemtrails. Oh my, what a fucking shame. What a shame. Is this even rolling? I have to ask that. If anybody wants to keep an eye on the world, I invite you to do videos and keep an eye on yourselves. Keep a look at what's above, and you'll see what's going down. And this is the BOM, Bureau Morons, because you see where it says here, Bureau Meteorology. When they said they want to become the Bureau, you should act like it, because you never even changed your name. So, Bureau of Morons, quit acting so moronic. Quit telling us so much malarkey. Quit using your radars to fuel the dynamics of atmospheric change. You can see these waveforms coming down coast here. See this? That's not X-ray. That's big boys frying. That's JORN. What is JORN? You ask. You ask me, I'll tell you. What did I leave up for you guys to look at? This is a Reddit article, which is, well, take Reddit for what it is, but this image is rather interesting. It seems Australia has been selling a radar design. They're very big, I think just a little bit of ionization can go on with these, and pulsations and modulations and all that goes with antennas. Yep, modulating. Some people need to modulate. This is one of the big ones, and it's miles long, goes vastly into the distance. So I pulled up a few things about it you might want to understand. The name Jindalee is an Aboriginal word that means the place the eye cannot see. And this thing looks over the horizon for missiles, it's supposed to do. But these things are big, really, really big, and they're linked together. And I'll get to this because I will need some assistance here coming up. But this is more important. I get to this right now. Not that I'm looking for this. I already have it loaded up. Right, I got some JORN devices I marked for you. Like this one here, you heard me say one day, oh gosh, look at this JORN is going off. Or those antennas like you see in that picture is what's going down this side here, right? And down that side. And this is a big fryer, and it can do a lot. And it ain't small. I'll show you. Do you want it in miles or clicks? Now this side right there is close to 2 miles long. Okay? These are big antennas, and Australia has sold this design and around the world to other places. China's installed them, Canada's installed them. They're very efficient. They often work in tandem, and there's quite a few of them around. There's 5 very well-known ones. Up in Queensland, you have this one's up here, and they're next to each other. And this thing here can really own a lot of weather. And this one's very similar to the one in Newcastle. See that? That's part of your JORN network. That's a Tesla death ray. That's a really well designed one. Do you see these antenna masts here? Yeah, boy, does that thing pulse. And yeah, it has one over here as well. I'm going to show you these things, and we're going to look at your pictures so you can see some of the chem that's setting up the storms. But that thing had some water near it recently, and again, here's another one of that same type setup. What are they redoing one side of it? This thing looks to be half shut down. Let's see what year this one was taken. Okay, now this is from this is July's image. We go back a full couple years here, and we'll have a good look at this. It's not liking me showing you the past. That's 2003, doesn't have a great image. 2019, not a great image. Did somebody take a picture here? No, that just says it's a Stonehenge airstrip. It's nearly geometrically opposed to Stonehenge, actually. What does that mean? It means if you drew a line straight through the planet at 90 degrees from underneath this spot, it would meet over there. Alice Springs meets with Menwith Hill, and they both have a huge spy station and a rather large antenna buried very deep in the ground, over 5 miles. It's not very often talked about. And the big one I see active a lot is over here. And I'll show you the HAARP in Adelaide area. It operates quite a bit. This one here is another Tesla death ray. Right over here, this piece of JORN. See how similar they look? It's not a very good image of it. That's an old image. You'd think they would have done something else between here and there, or have I been showing the guilt too much? I used to have a better image of this. Let's zoom out a little bit, maybe more. That's your latest, greatest in that one. Anyway, and I got JORN over here. This is also part of your JORN, and they gave them over here. This super darn is part of the JORN. This is in New Zealand. This is a super darn antenna right here in this field. Again, a small version of a Tesla death ray. It can heat up the upper atmosphere, melt a missile coming through. It's what it's designed to do. These are high gain antennas. That's a shadow of what the tap looks like, kind of. You can make it when I zoom in on this one. You used to be able to see the antenna itself really, really good on the back row, because each one of these has little spokes on them. And this one's designed to fire its heaviest beam south, and it works in tandem with one in Hobart, over in Tassie, which I'll show you now. We'll go across the sea, the beautiful sea with toxic seas, and it's over here. Remember, I triangulate this device in beams coming from it all the time. You know, when I see them on Mimic and they say it's a glitch and it just happens to be right over this station all the time, I say your glitch is a lie. You're just lying. If you're lying, you're dying, man. And don't you lie to me, motherfuckies, without expecting me to unfuck your motherfuckery with fuckery of my own. Yep. And that's a very big device. And those two are twinned, the one in New Zealand and that one. You've got a lot of devices, you know, around Australia, not just Next-Reds. Where's the HAARP? Because I found this HAARP here that many people that hunt HAARP had not know about. Yeah, he's gonna know. There's the next rad. See that one there? That's one kind of fryer. Now add energy of that into a HAARP, and what do you got? You got a hell of an array. And they got this HAARP's hidden right back here. It's been there for quite a while. It's like a lot of the history has been erased here from worldview, it seems. Yes, I'm noticing something that happened in the last few weeks. Gee, thank you, Donald Trump. Yeah, he took a lot of our data out, and this would be some of it. But they didn't do it in time, because there's your HAARP field. There's your coordinates right down here in the corner. Yeah, you put those in for your... in case you want to go there and take a picture of that for me, that would be great. Right, that would be great. Because you got a lot of devices about... You do. You got a lot of NextRads along there to control all the flow coming into your country. You just shut down the... put a path of resistance up, and you can direct things here. You can direct it there. You could direct the kangaroos on the island to jump in the air if you blast them in the air enough. Yeah, you got a lot of devices, lots of NextRads. At the end of the day, if they're deploying chemical catalysts for these things that I just show you to excite, and that's not good. You ready for me to act like I'm sitting on your front porch yet? And go over your pictures? Because, man, this ain't nothing but close to a crime scene down here, Barnesdale. The haunted Sky Stream State Park? Get out of here. My gosh, look at the mess. But hey, you got to have good snow for the ski resort owners. It looks like you got fire. I don't know if it'll load or not. So we press our luck. If I shut this map, it'll load. I guarantee that. Oh. So let's guarantee. So let's put on the fires and the thermal anomalies. There's a bright flash of light. It's the same satellites that are supposed to track if a missile takes off. That's a fireman. It's just not marked. The wind's not blowing that direction over here. Because you guys sent some horrendous pictures. Before I do that, I invite you to, if you feel my work is of value, it's been 23 days since I felt valued. And it takes a lot of bill money to do these things that I do. Yay, microscopy workies, yeah. That ain't cheap. And so please support my broadcasts that I would like to continue to do for free and not take any kind of you pay to see a forecast, because I'd rather quit. Just waiting for my job to start. And yes, I had a success. So let's go over your pictures. And this is a shitstorm here in Sydney, says Nulachik. Okay, Nulachik, let's have a look at this. Oh, God, look at the streamers here. I got Mr. Squiggles out. So if we care to do that part of it, we will. I think this is pretty basic. You see the scalar square right here? That edge, and this edge here. And this will be a plasma streaming off the bottom of it. Looks like the wind direction is blowing from here toward here. But this is kind of interesting here. There's something to the crisscross and deployed right here. So you have some kind of drone-ish vehicles up there deploying stuff that's making clouds occur. Yeah, absolutely. And I bet you, how are you feeling health-wise? Is your nose burning? Is there any particular smell? Is there a taste in your mouth that's unusual? Only you can tell me the answers to this. So please type a reply to let us know. Well, thank you for 2 pictures instead of 1. And this is Wollongong, the Gong Show. Oh, boy, did it look bad. It looked really bad when I put on the worldview down here in the Gong. Really, really bad. It's down right about here. Look at the crap from below, from above, that you've seen from below. Right, all this crap right here, these streamers right here, they're showing up. You can't tell me these clouds are not fake. Well, they are definitely man-made. Might even get a shot of them in motion here if we're lucky. We'll go down toward the Gong down here. Oh my, this is just like pellets of sickness mix, one after the other, being carpet bombed on top of you. When you're worried about gassing and other places getting gassed out, the gas chambers come to you, Australia. How does that make you feel? Feeling like you're very lucky, or you feel like you're being cunted? Only you can decide. The lucky cunted. Yes, the unlucky cunted. Look at this barreling in geostorm here. See this here? This is the anvil. And it smacks that bunch of Shenza right on inland. This is all Chembomination down here. Big sky shark going on. Oh my! Wonder if we got any pictures from Adelaide that have showed up in these here. Wait, that's horrendous. Got anything from Ratty? Because other people didn't realize that New South Wales is all I wanted. Let's see what we got here. Did they talk? Oh God! Look at the chemtrail. There's so much high altitude deployments that jet plane's flying underneath the deployment, probably by about at least 20,000 feet. And it's just condensating the nanoparticles. They used to say it was dust particles. Well, the pulsing of the engine itself, right? Will make the donuts on a rope. That's what we used to call that. But the condensate from this cloud above it, right here, is falling out into the path of that. So it's the jet, I do not think, is spraying anything at all. I think it's actually all this chem that I can show you right here, mid-coast New South Wales. You have all these streamers of stuff at very high altitude. Anything going under that will leave a chemtrail. Anything that is hot enough. It's just... Yeah, but it won't be a natural contrail. It would be a man-made condensate, because it's man-made particle. That's not like a dust particle from the air, from the desert blowing it in there. That would make a storm like we were taught in the old days. Now, this is deliberate deployment of preformed particles of chemical catalysts. It even says they're going to do that in the governance document of Geoengineering, which I'll be happy to provide you a copy of. This is a very well-known document, and it says over here, if I go to the footnotes on page 13 here, first thing you're going to see at the top of this page here is potential delivery vehicles for geoengineering or stratospheric sulfur dioxide injection include aircraft, artillery shells, stratospheric balloons, and hoses suspended from towers. But when I go down to the bottom here, I'm not seeing silver iodide mentioned. I'm seeing something actually quite disturbing, that there have been suggestions of injecting preformed particles. You know, this is the dust particle they talk about. It's a dust particle. It's a preformed particle of other chemicals, and nowhere on here do I see silver iodide listed. I see titanium oxide. I see sulfuric acid. Yes, this is what I see. All make it together to make sulfate particles to reflect sunlight out into space. Sulfuric aerosols in the presence of sulfuric gas may condense into pre-existing aerosol particles. So the preformed particles of the titanium oxide can then be combined with the acids to make only what a chemistry guy will know. And when you hit things with certain resonance and frequency, you can get all sorts of effects out of elements. Do you not? Including sky glow that looks like aurora going all the way inland far to north in Australia. And here's a copy of this in case you want to learn. And this is from 2016. And that information I gave you is from 2009 and 2010. Don't tell me this ain't real. Don't tell me it ain't litigated. Don't tell me it ain't being paid for. Don't tell me this is healthy dust in your sky being done by a guy who warp-speeded the vaccine that killed my mother. Don't you ever fucking tell me that. Ever again. Life is not safe, but damn if we signed up for this, damn if this sea turtle signed up for this, and damn if I did, damn if you did, and damn those that do this. And anybody who lies about that, damn you too, damn you. As I look at Australia and the pictures you guys took today, it gets me very upset, very, very upset to see this kind of stuff. Let's go, who was the last? Oh my, look at the microwave popcorn clouds here. But when you look at them, what do you see? What do you see? I'll show you what I see when I look at this. Where did Mr. Squiggles go? Where did Mr. Squiggles? He must have fell somewhere. I got upset. I'll use my finger to do it. I'll finger it instead. Aha, I found you, Mr. Squiggles. Oh, shit. Right, let's do this. But when I look at it, I see square forms. Right? I see bomb, with a percussion ring around it, right? How many directions of the wind? Is it blowing this way? Is it blowing that way? Is it blowing like that? Or even just in there, what made this tendril? right? These are chemical clouds of other chemicals being made through microwave perturbation. That's just what that's called. How much more do you need me to think that something has come along here and boom, 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 boomed up your day, pluming your asses? The pluming Nazis are quite busy. Quite busy they are. Yep, quite busy. What a shame. Look at this crap. And you'd look up there and say, oh, it's a macro sky. No, that's man-made weather sky, man. Look at the microwave interference pattern through here. Right turn, Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. Quit being treated like a bunch of Cletuses. Really, a bunch of Cletuses. Oh, we got an actual phone. Did they speak? See those tendrils? That's way up high. You can see that's clearly above these cumulus clouds. Clearly that's above that. That's clear as day, that part of it. Right? So that's a really high level deployment. And there's something above that right here deploying. When that stuff falls out and a jet plane goes through it, it's going to leave a chemtrail. It just is. And I think we have a lot of misconceptions about chemtrails that I will never ever support. Misconceptions. We got to use our heads. You can see the nucleation here in the centers of this. Here, I wanted to stop that. I just want them to stop it. See if we can get this to come up bigger. Again, Mr. Squiggles sees the same thing. The straight lines, the deployments, the boom boom plumes that it took to make the clouds, to make the condensate, to make it. Yep. It's just how it works. It looks very bad. Very bad. Yep. From Yango National Park. Look at the boom boom plumes right through here. Something came across the line from this direction to that direction. I could tell that by this one had longer time to spread out. So something is up there, strato cruiser, and it's above this other cloud. When I zoom out, I see that quite plainly. Like a big M in your skies, or the glutching, greedy hands of our oppressors who said, we're going to have your land whether you like it or not. That's just a cloud. You can't prove nothing. Nobody saw anything. We didn't do nothing. We see you. We know what you do. And you told us in Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2040 and Agenda 21 exactly what you want. You want a new world order, single world currency. They want us to own nothing and be happy about it. They want you in a smart city, locked down. They'll use any kind of emotion they can to get you to give in that. Tuna State Park. I know it's T-U-A-N, tuna. Smell like tuna in the air. Smells like tuna over there. Yeah, thunderstorms can often be made with these kind of things. Look at the scalar square over Caboolture. I have some friends of mine who's not going to be feeling too great about that. Ain't too great about that at all. But when I see these streamers of death, and they're stopping right at a chemtrail line, it's almost like that's a barrier for a microwave to echo back on. Hint, fucking hint. Yeah. Simulating a mountain range out at sea. These are Chemdumps, folks. This isn't a mackerel sky. No, but they're fishing for you. See the square inside here? Can you see the patterns yet? Do you understand yet the severity of our situation? Now, all life on my planet is in danger because the needs of the few seem to outweigh the entire world's needs. And I just need us all to say no more. No more are we the system's heart. And that's about all of this I can take to show today. If you care to support my work, I invite you to do so here on the GoFundMe. And that's put up here just for that purpose. Right now I'm going to go put my arm in a sling because something's wrong with my left arm, but my right arm is fine. My mind is working, is ticking on all cylinders. And you know what? Together we got this, man. Takes a hell of a lot more than a piston to make an engine run. That's for sure. Look at the shadow that chemtrail left on top of this deck of clouds that was nucleated underneath it by the microwaves of the big devices. It's bad. Such a beautiful world to be treated like shit. Such a beautiful place. Yeah, New Zealand, what a shame. Look at you guys. I thought I was going to click off, but I can't. I can't. I can't. There's another cloud to show. There's another sky. Still got a little bit of gumption left in me today. Let's see what Julie had to show. Hey, God, look at the tendrils here streamering off. And again, the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. You see these little white tips in the center? That's a percussion ring from an explosion or a deployment where the atmospheric dynamics change. Square clouds, square clouds, square clouds. How much more is it going to take obvious for even the people that see the obvious to say, hey, something's going on? Don't expect to see this on television. The revolution won't be televised. It's quite the opposite. It'll be quelled. But all these lines pointing at a spot should be pretty indicative of if you go out into the distance of finding that there is a radar on and those lines will be pointed right at it. So with that said and with that done, you guys just keep it safe, keep it real, and thank you for participating in today's show. And now remember, they said so in advance what they want to do. Pre-existing particles, hydroxyl radicals of sulfuric acid. Remember these things, injecting preformed particles of other chemicals, call it a chemtrail, other chemicals like titanium oxide. Okay? And they say so right here in the Paris Agreement. They agreed to something that's highly disagreeable to all life, and this says it all. This is your proof of chemtrails. Don't you tell me they're not real if you don't ever plan to keep it real yourself. Big love. Stay safe. Peace.